Okay, so this is video 2. Now I've got my very simple program which just shows how a timer works. There we go. I'll stop that. So now I thought it might be good to try and do something a bit more useful with the timer, like maybe move an object. So I guess there's different ways you could do this, but I've just noticed there's a margin property here, and maybe one thing we could do is move an object left and right by changing how far away it is from the margin. So first off, I'll get rid of this text block because it's not a very good object really to manipulate, I guess. Let's get rid of some of the code. Actually, let's leave the code for now. What we'll do is in this design view, I'll just make some kind of object. How about a little ball? Bang it in the middle, and I'll call it ball. And I'll reuse some of the code that we used last time. This start timer method. In the example on the design view, if you remember from last video, there was a loaded attribute. So, I mean, the good thing about these IDEs is they come up for you as you're writing them. So, I think it's loaded. Start to type it, and it says, "Yep, you're right. Use loaded." So, and it even comes up with the method name there, start timer. So, when this loads, it will run the start timer method, which, if you remember, then sets up the timer and does whatever's in this each tick method. So, we no longer want to add text to a text block, so I'll delete that. What we do want to do is move it left and right. So what I will do up here is create a boolean. How about call it boolean left as boolean equals true. So when this is true, the ball will move to the left. So I'll put if. Actually, let's not call it left, let's call it move left. So if move left equals true, and then it's finished off writing that for me. In here, I want to move the ball left. So to do this, it was the margin property I wanted to mess with. So I was on MSDN again, and I looked up how this worked, and basically there's a thickness object, I think. Yeah, so you have to create a new thickness for it, and then you feed it the variables of how far away from the width you want it to be. I've cheated and wrote it already. So let's bung this in here, and I'll talk you through this. What I'm saying here is ball. The margin of the ball is, well, this is saying it's in the same place. The left, how far it is away from the left is setting it the same as it was before. Same from the top, same from the right, same from the bottom. But because we want it to move left, we actually want to, let's move this up here a bit, make that smaller. So what's happening here, if I go back, is every time this tick happens, the ball is moving further closer to the left because that number's going down. So if I press play now, this is depending on move left being true, but we've set move left to be true up here, so it should just move to the left if I press play. There we go, and nothing will stop it, it'll just carry on. So we need it on the tick to add here, we need to say if the ball's reached the end, then stop. So if ball dot, what was it called again? Margin ball dot, if ball dot, oh, my typing is terrible today. Ball dot margin dot left is less than or equal to naught, then I might put that in for me. Yeah, then move left equals false. So it's looping through this, and when it gets to the very end of the grid, it'll be the left margin obviously be 0, or less than 0 if it's gone over the end, and then it'll tell it to stop. It'll set this to false, and then this should no longer be true, so it shouldn't move any more left. So the ball should only go to the end. Let's try that. Oh, fingers crossed. So it stopped there, but now we want it to go the other way. So we can put in here else. So if it's not moving left, it should be moving right. So we can copy that, bung that in there. Now we want to add 10 here, so it's going further away from the left margin. So let's try that. I mean, there is a mistake I've made here, or something I've missed out, which will be, if I try this, it should hit this end, go this end, but there's nothing stopping it when it gets this end. It should just carry on. There we go. So we could put another if statement here, similar to that one. If ball margin is greater than, oh no, that's sorry. Yeah, it's greater than or equal to. That is right. How big is this? The grid is 526. So if I put 526 here, it still won't be perfect. Then equals true. Let's just try that. And it should just go over a little bit. Oh, yeah, so it's gone over a little bit because I didn't take into account the size of the ball here. So how big is that? 125, so you'd have to take that off here to get it to hit the end. And then what it's doing is making it true, so as soon as it gets to there, it will end up going back. I've done that wrong again, haven't I? Yeah, or more or less right. So I'm sure there's other ways you could manipulate